patterns, how do I make them? Firstly, I draw most of my patterns by hand. You can see I draw them with pencil and then I outline them with some sort of Sharpie or marker so that I can trace them through the felt. I also trace them with different colors so I know the left side from the right side if I have a pair that's not perfectly symmetrical. Sometimes I make my patterns on the computer using Adobe Illustrator. I do this when I need something to be symmetrical or uniform. These are a couple examples. The easiest way to then transfer them to your felt is just to trace them. I like to put them up against a window so there's lots of bright light and I can see the pattern through the felt. This really only works with white felt. It's not going to work with your black felt or any other colors. I trace with a pencil and try to make my lines very faint and thin so that when I'm beading, they are very minimal on the finished piece. This is going to be the cheapest and easiest technique, and you can see what they look like and they're ready to bead. My next method is to print out your pieces. This is something a lot of beaders use. It's personally not my preference. I don't like working with paper, but we're going to do it here. So first I take my pattern I made online and then I'm going to resize it in Word so it's exactly the size I want it, 2 by 2 inches. Then I can just copy paste so the other side is the exact same, and now it is ready for me to print. I print them out on regular paper like so, and then we can cut them out. I cut them to the size I want them, and then I'm just going to staple them onto my felt to secure them. You could also stitch it with your beading thread if you wanted, but stapling is nice and fast. This is great if you have complex patterns or ones you need to be very accurate, so you want to print versus tracing. And this is how it looks, ready to bead. So what we do is bead our outline, and then after that you can just rip off the extra paper that is left on the project. To make this easier, you can dab a little bit of water on the paper so it's super easy to rip. And our last method is just like this, but instead we're going to use interfacing. I bought this from the fabric store. It's only like $2 a meter. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to cut my interfacing to the size of my felt, like so. And then you'll see one side is smooth and the other side is bumpy. Those little bumps are tiny little glue dots that are activated by heat. So what we'll do is just line it up on here, and then we're going to trace again, similar like we did with the felt before, but this time we're tracing it onto the interfacing. It's much easier to see your pattern this way, and you'll see it comes out really nicely. Now we're going to use our iron. I'm setting the iron to a low temperature, as instructed in the instructions. Now making sure that everything's traced properly and the glue dots are on the lower side, so the smooth side is up and the bumpy side is against the felt, we can now press. I'm just putting my iron down on top of it and then pressing the steam button a couple times and keeping it in place. Now we'll take a look. There's a few bumps and wrinkles, so I am just going to softly jiggle the iron to make sure it's all nice and secure. Press, press, press until it is flat and looking perfect. Look how gorgeous this is. Now everything's ready to go. You don't need to tack it down or anything. It should be nicely secured and ready to bead. So those are 3 ways to do your patterns. I hope you like this video. Let me know which method is your favorite in the comments down below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials.